So in yesterday's class, we were discussing about one JCL. So if suppose this JCL is there, we will have to change this JCL every time, right? We have to change it to January, February, March, April, like this. Every time we have to modify it. And if suppose IBM is coming back and asking that what is there is an issue in the January file, then we would not be able to answer it, right? So yesterday I was saying this can be handled through GDG. So now we have created the GDG base also. So how to do that? How to use it? Now, how to use how the GDG will resolve this problem? So that we have to understand, right? So how GDG will resolve this problem is one second. So it is our mainframe. Okay. So GDG base. Yeah. So we have created the GDG base. This is your name. This limit you have given it as empty, sorry, 12, no empty and scratch. And this is your GDG base, right? Something test dot December 23 dot IBM. So when we tried to open it, it was saying GDG base, right? So how GDGs will create a new file every time without changing the job. So what you have to do here is, for example, consider, let me take this job only. Let us say JCL. Let me take take one new JCL otherwise. So yes, GDG one. Okay. Okay, we do not have job card and all, right? Let me get the job card. So this is your job card. Step 00 exec IEB general equal to consider. Okay, right now we do not have this file. So the same example I'm taking. So this file is not there. Consider, okay, I'm creating this file. A, okay. So this file will be there in which IBM will send their data every month. Okay, so this is their list of employees, for example. Okay, right now it is empty. Okay, so they will be sending it on monthly basis. January they will send, February they will send, March they will send. Like this they will be sending. So here, what we are planning first, okay, what we plan to do, we would like to take the backup of that file, right? We would like to take the backup of that file before we go for any further processing. So before we go for any further processing, we would like to take the backup of that file. Let us say here it is block size equal to 800, comma tsorg equal to ps. So is everything fine now? This new catalog delete space. Here I'm giving, let us say like,
10
yeah,
to spend. Yeah.
okay. So I'm giving like this. Okay, normally if I submit this, so we already know what is the problem, right? So if I'm having Jan data and if I submit this, so it will, okay, before submitting, let's have some test information like this. So right now I'm not taking any file layout or something, just I'm giving test employee list for Jan data or Jan 2024 data. Okay. So, and I'm saving it. So now, if I run this job now, right? So it is having JCL error. What is the issue?
Units we didn't mention, sir.
Okay, okay. Unit equal system. But so yeah, we identified that. But normally, if you are not able to find what it is, better we go here. It will say some unidentified operator or something. Unidentified operator. Then when you are seeing this unidentified operation field, definitely then there will be an issue in any of these things, disposition or space or DCB or unit. So this unidentified operation field you will get for these fields only. For these fields, it will not give you the clear error. What it means, unit you did not mention, or this you did not. Like this, it won't give you the clear error, but it will say unidentified operation field. That means you have to check in any one of these. Okay. Still JCL error. REC, FMA, Alrecal block size. What are we missing? Okay, let's see.
Here we are using the program name
Okay,
IB
here also we did not. We are using, sorry,
program name have to change. It's already
which one you're saying? This one.
yes, sir.
No, we are just copying this file into another file, right?
Yeah, okay.
See, under this, you will have the next program. We are not, see, we are not bothered about that program. See, this one, this particular program, it is calculating the salary. Let it calculate. We don't care about it. Here, our problem is next month, this file will be overwritten with February data. So if you're not taking the backup for this file, right? What is happening next month? It will have the February data. It will calculate the salary of February and it will do everything. But our intention here is we have to take the backup before go to this program.
Yeah,
Understanding?
okay. Okay, sir.
So here we are not talking or we are not learning how the salary is getting calculated. We are learning how to get the backup using GDGs. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So now let me submit this. Now it is fine. So you have this data into this Jan file. So you have this data. Here our problem is, right? Here our problem is, first thing, if you are getting, let us say, February data, right? If you're getting any February data, IBM. So if you are getting any February data, let us say next month, they have updated it as February. Okay. So they sent the data. Now you here the problem is you cannot directly run this job, right? If you run this job, it will fail. First thing, duplicate error. So this is one thing. Next thing, you have to change it to February. Then only it will run, right? Otherwise, so here you have to modify your job every time and you have to think of a new name every time. But this will not work when it is productionized. When it is really productionized, nobody will go and change it every time. So your job should be not in a position to modify every time. It should be taking care of everything, right? So this is the problem. So how this problem will be resolved? So how this problem will be resolved is, so you will have to have a GDG base. Take this GDG. So instead of this, so first, okay, let us start again from January data. So instead of this dot January dot Feb, we will give the GDG base here. So we will give the GDG base, and then how it will create the new file. You will have to only extra thing that you are going to do is, in after GDG base name, in bracket, you will have to give +1. So this is the only thing you have to do. I'll explain you what is this +1 means. Okay, don't worry. So instead of giving dot Jan, dot Feb, dot March files here, you give December 2020, meaning the GDG base of +1. What is that? GDG base of +1 you have to give. Okay. So normally you are giving the different file names, right? IBM dot list dot January, list dot February. We are changing and submitting, correct?
Yes, sir.
So instead of that, we are just giving your GDG base with +1. So what will happen? So in the, let us say in IBM file, they are sending from January data. Okay, this is first thing. Let us now submit this job and see what will happen. I'm submitting this. Okay, submit. So it is fine. It went fine. But what is the file name? How it is created? Let's see. So start. We have already GDG base somewhere. Okay, let me close this tab. Okay. So this tab is JCL. This tab is our GDG one. So this also we don't need. I'm closing this tab also. Okay, this is for our JCL. This is for the input file, that is IBM file. This is for the spool. And let's open the GDG in different tab. So here I'm giving my GDG base, and I'm giving you already know, right? When last time I was giving, there was only GDG base, correct? So I'm giving enter. Now, if you see, it has created another file with some next qualifier, right? Did we give this qualifier anywhere?
No, sir.
No, right? So what happened when you're giving GDG base of +1, it has created a file with some qualifier, random qualifier. So we will discuss about this also. So we are going to discuss about what is that +1, and also we are going to discuss about what is this qualifier, how it is coming also. Okay. Now let us say they are sending next February data. Okay, first thing, let me save it. Here, this file is a normal PS file. This you can open and see. This is a GDG base. But this one, the second one is a normal PS file. You can open and see. See, just like a PS file only, this is what you are having. This is January data, correct?
Yes, sir.
So now, let us say now February month came. So they have updated the February data here. Now we are going to our job. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to modify anything. You don't have to touch your JCL. Just go and submit. Again, you are submitting. It will not say it is all. Just see maxis is 0. Now, if you come here and just refresh this, see one more version created, right? So
Yes, sir.
every time it is creating a new file with different name. You're getting this point?
Yes, sir.
So let's say I'm having March data. So next month came, we are having March data. Let's save it and submit this job. Again, I'm not changing anything. Just submit. Maxis is 0. Come here and refresh it. It is third version. If you see the first version, it is January data. If you see the second version, it is February data. If you see the third version, it is March data, right? Are we changing our JCL anytime? No, right?
No, sir.
We are not at all changing the JCL. So your JCL is now fully automated, meaning you can just come here and submit it. So automatically it is taking the backup in your versions. So now let's take this. Okay. So basically, how the GDG will create the files. So GDG, how it will be creating the files is, first it will have the GDG base. After that, it will have some number. So this we call it as. So it will have G XXXX and VYY. What is this XXXX and VY? We call them as generations. So it will every time create a new generation. This is GDG generation 1, generation 2, generation 3. So this XXXX will be from 00, like it will be created like 0001, 0002, 0003, 0004. Up to when it will be created? It will be created up to G9999 V00. So when this version numbers will be updated, version these are YY is version, XX is X is your generation and Y is your version numbers. So mostly version number will be always 0, but sometimes we will modify the version numbers. Why we modify the version numbers? Here. So first, for January file, what it has created, what is the last qualifier for January? It is G0001 V00, correct?
Yes, sir.
So in January, for example, suppose they are sending some data, meaning we want to modify something, or they have sent it 2 times, or they have sent it 3 times. For some reason, if they are sending, then only we will give it as like this. Sorry, like this. Otherwise, it will always be G001, V00, G002, V00, G003. So these numbers we call it as generations, but in the normal language when we speak, sometimes we speak it as versions also. Like this is the first version, this is the second version, third version. That means not these things. The generations only we are calling it as versions. That's it. This is first version, second version, third version, like that. Okay, so this number will be automatically incremented like G1, 2, 3, 4, up to 9999, it will be incremented. Now you will be having a question. Sir, actually we can have, okay, what is the limit maximum I told? 255, right? 255 is the maximum limit. So, sir, when you can have only 255 versions per 1 GDG, how you can get 9999, right? So it is not like that. So when you are having no empty option, what is happening? So when your 13th version is creating, that means when here you have your G001, so G002, G003, G004, G005, like this, right? So when your 13th version is creating, it will basically delete the first version and it will still continue the same count. Okay, then your 14th version, then your 15th version, so it will still continue the same count, two these. So that means it will go up to 9999. Understanding?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it is not like when your 13th version is created, not like this 13 will become 1. So it is not like that. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 only will be there. 13, 14, 15, 16, like that it will go. Okay, so here, yeah. So when we basically use these version numbers, or when we basically use these GDGs in the JCL, right? When we use these JCLs in the JCL, we basically refer them with relative version number. These are the original version numbers. Z001, 2, 3, 4 are the original version numbers. But in JCL, when we are using it in jobs, right, we don't use with this. Meaning, one thing is, if you want, you can directly use with this name. But in JCL, we don't really use this with this name. We use with relative version numbers. We call it as relative version numbers. So what does the relative version number means? Basically, always the latest version that we are having will be 0th version. Okay, that means it is your this. the latest version that you're having is always your 0th version. Okay, the previous version you are having will be your -1 version. Before that will be your -2 version. Understanding? Always the latest version is 0, previous version is -1, and before that it will be -2. So if I'm going to create the next version, what will be my relative version number?
1, sir.
So it is your +1, right? Correct or not?
Correct.
It will become 0, sir.
No,
Yes,
0
so
after creating. After creating, it will become 0. It is right now, it is not there. We have to create the next version, right? See, once it is created, then it will become 0. Right now, you have only up to 3. Fourth version is not yet present, correct?
Yes, sir.
So now the 0 is 3 only, not fourth version. Once the fourth version is also created, then it will become 0, right? But now, see, if it is -2, -1, 0, and the next fourth version will be +1,
Yes.
correct? So that is the reason whenever you are creating a new version, right? Whenever you're creating a new version, you will be using GDG base of +1. Understanding?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Okay. So now let us say I am having April data. Save it. So now in this perspective, now how many versions we already have? 3 versions. Now what is this +1 means? Which one it is going to create?
Fourth one, sir.
Fourth one. So if you submit now, done, and if you refresh this, it has created the fourth version. As soon as the fourth version is created, right? As soon as the fourth version is created, what will happen? All these numbers will be shifted like this. Now your fourth will become 0 and this will become your -3. And what is the +1 means now?
Next.
Fifth version, right? So that's the reason your JCL will never fail. Understanding? That's the reason your JCL will never fail. Getting it?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Suppose, for example, here, let's take one more example. Let me repeat this step, RR, enter. Let's say I'm having 0, 1. Here, for some reason, let's say I would like to, so this Jan is there, right? I will rename this as something like backup. So we have, okay. Now what I will do one small thing here. So IEB Jenner, and here I will have backup. This equal to share. Okay. So what I am trying to say here is, suppose here I would like to take the copy of, you tell me which one will take, let us say, I want to take the backup of this. Now this is your January, right? This is your February. This is your March. This is your April data. Now let's say I would simply like to copy this February file into another file. So here, this February file I am giving, comma, disp equal to share. So now tell me what version number I have to give here to have the February file?
-2, sir.
-2, right? So I'm giving my -2, sorry, -2. Let's see, into this file we will get the February data or not, right? We will see whether we will get the February data or not. What I'm doing, let me comment this out. So I don't want to execute the first step, okay? So I'm commenting. Okay, this entire step is commented. Now I am running this step alone. So here, this particular thing is having only February data, meaning this -2 means it is February data. Let's see whether it is February data only or not. I'm submitting. So max is 0. So before seeing the backup data, before seeing, or you can see the backup data, see this backup, what data came into this file?
February,
February
sir.
date, right? If suppose I'm giving, here I'm giving -3, which data will come here?
March. No, sir.
Wrong.
January.
January, sir.
January, right? So submit. Why it is not completing is because I have opened. Okay, it is complete. I did not open. Okay, now see, January data came here, right? -3 means Jan, -2 means Feb. This means month. So now to see that, let's go to spool once. You have to understand what is happening. So this is my previous job. This is with -2. This is with -3. So first I'm opening this -2 one, question mark, and go to anything. Let's say first one here, you do not have any much in. So here you will have only JCL. Okay, here let's go to this. Here, when I have given -2, see which version it is taking? G0002, right? Correct?
Yes, sir.
So when I am giving, now let me take the next one. So when I'm giving -3, which version it is taking?
First
First
version, sir.
version, right? So if I give 0 here, which version it will take?
4, sir.
Back to 0. So 0 means what? Fourth, right? So that means this file should have April data. Correct? It is having April data. Let's check the spool also. So when I have taken GDG base of 0, which version it is taking?
Fourth
Fourth version.
version.
So that means your, okay, that means your latest version will be 0, previous will be -1, before that will be -2, something like that. Okay. So now here, one more point I would like to tell you. So here, basically, when I'm skipping this step, right? To skip this step, what I have done, when I don't want to execute this step, what I have done to not execute,
Commented, sir.
I have commented this out, right? So if you see this list of parameters that we are having on the job card, we are having one parameter called uh, restart, right? I told you that I'll be talking about this restart parameter later, correct? So we are having something called restart. So what this restart will do is, if you want to, okay, maybe if you want to restart the job from a particular step, we use restart parameter. So let's see how we will be using it. So how to use it is simple. It is restart equal to your step name. So here, tell me how many steps I'm having in this job.
Only one step, sir.
Anybody else? How many steps I'm having?
Two
Two.
steps, sir.
There are 2 steps, right? This is one step and this is one step. So if you are, sometimes if you're confused how many steps you are having, find all exec. So here it will say how many are there? How many exec statements are there?
Two, sir.
2. So each exec statement is one step. Okay, this is your first step. This is your second step, right? So you are having 2 different steps here. Now, if I submit this job, basically it will run this step, and meaning first it will run this step, then it will run this step. Okay, 2 steps will be executed. For example, if you see, I am submitting. Okay, here I would like to tell you one more thing. before going to restart parameter. I'll tell you. So now April is also completed. So let's make it May now. Okay. Now, okay, if I submit this job, which version it is going to create? How many versions we have actually right now?
4, sir.
4 are there. Okay. Now, if I submit this particular job, which version it is going to create?
5th version.
Fifth version it is going to create, right? And into this backup file, which data will be copied?
4th
See,
one, sir.
here, which one we are referring? So this is the tricky part. You have to understand. Here, 5th version is created. Right now, what is the 0th version? Right now, what is the 0th version? 4.
4th.
The version.
Okay. So now, in the first step, you are creating the 5th version. Okay. Here, 5th version is already, now it will be already created. Here, you are referring the latest version. So here, the latest version means 5th version or 4th version.
5th one.
Okay. So just give your opinions. What we'll see, whether it is 5th or 4th version here.
5th, sir.
So 5th. So inside this job, what we will have? May data. Correct? Inside this file, we will be having May data. Yes or no? So this is your May employee.list is having May data. Okay. Same May data is getting copied to 5th version. Now, here the 5th version will be created. So out of all the versions, you are referring the latest version. So we are assuming it is the 5th version for now. So out of all the version, 0th version means it will become 5th version. So we are thinking this 5th version is already having which data? May data, right? So this May data will be copied to this emp.backup. That is the whole job doing, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now let's submit this and see. I'm submitting. Max is 0. So now let's see 5th version created. Yeah, 5th version created and it is having May data. So correct, proper data has been copied. Now this is your first step. Let's see how first thing, how many steps got executed that we have to see. So go back, go back. So if you go to this just message log, inside this, you will have all the steps information. How many steps are executed? See how many steps executed? Step 00, RC0, step 01, RC0. So 2 steps are executed, correct?
Yes, sir.
So 2 steps executed. So in the second step, what we are doing in the second step, we are copying the latest version into BKP file, right? So let's see what is there in the BKP file now. See, it is still having April data only. That means which 0th, when you are mentioning 0th version, which version it has taken? 4th version or 5th version. So let's see here. So in your first step, step 00, it is taking matsa.test.ibm.5th version. You are creating it as +1. Okay, in step 00, what you are creating? You are creating GDG base of +1, right? So that +1 is your G0005. Now let little go down. F8. Okay, here is your step 1. In your step 1, you are referring GDG base of 0. But when you are referring GDG base of 0, which version it is referring?
4th version.
4th version. But we were thinking that it will be the 5th version, right? Why it is taking the 4th version? That is the point that we have to understand now. See, I'm not saying your understanding is not correct. So ideally, it should be 5th version only. When it is GDG base of 0, it should be 5th version only. But why it is taking still the 4th version, right? 5th version already created in the first step. That means 5th version already became the 0th version. That is the latest version. But in the second step, when I'm referring it as 0, why it is still taking the 4th version? Correct?
Yes, sir.
So here is the tricky part that we have to understand. So what is happening? Why it is not becoming 0? For example, I will do the same thing now. See, I'll just comment this step. Okay. So now let me run this. Now I'm not changing anything. Still I'm having it as 0th version only. No changes at all. Submit. And submit. Submit. Now if you see the same EMP backup, which data it is having?
May, sir.
So just now when we submitted the job last time, it is having, when it GDG base of 0 means it is referring 4th version, right? See what it is referring now.
5th version, sir.
If you see now the step 01, which version it is referring? It is referring the 5th version. Just now when you have submitted last time, it is referring 4th version. GDG base of 0 means 4th version. And when you are referring the 5th version, when you are submitting it for the next time, it is referring the 5th version. How come it is happening? Right? That is the question. Did you understand what is happening? That means not the explanation, but did you understand the difference? First time it is taking the 4th and second time it is taking the 5th. So now we have already have the version 5 now. Okay, so all as usual, all these numbers will be shifted here. Now what will this first version will become? What will this become?
-4.
-4, sir.
-4. So now let us understand what is happening in the last two runs. Okay, so now if you are going to create, so here one more thing I'll tell you. See, I was talking about this one, right? Restart one. Okay, so in order to, so you don't have to basically comment this step. If you want to skip this step, right, you can just give restart equal to your step name. So what is the step name here? I want to start it from second step. What is my step name?
IEB channel.
Okay.
Step
What is my job name?
job name MAT.
SA1.
Okay. What is my first step name?
Step 00.
What is my second step name?
Step 01.
So I want to start from 01, step 01. So it is step 01. This is job name followed by job, step name followed by exec, DD name followed by DD. So this is your first step name. This is your second step name. Understanding?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you give restart equal to step 01, what it will do, it will directly start the job from here only. So if you're having some steps under this, let us say 2, 3, 4 steps are there, it will execute 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. It will not execute these steps. So it will directly start from step 01. That means it is skipping this step. Understanding?
Yes, sir.
So now I'm not commenting this step. I'm just running it as it is. Submit. Maxis is 0. Now let's go to spool. Just message log. See how many steps it ran?
Only one
Only
step,
one.
sir.
So step 00 got skipped. And as usual, it is referring to the 5th version only. Here it is not fine. So now let's come to this part. So if I basically, let's say, if I remove this step, if I remove this restart, so again, it will start running from here. It will run this step and this step. So when I'm running this step 00, which version it will create now? Here, which version it will create?
6th, sir.
6th version. So basically this +1 is your 6th version. This +1 is going to be your, sorry. +1 is going to be your 6th version. So in this, when the job is starting, meaning before the job is starting, your +1 is 6th version. So when these numbers are getting updated, these numbers will get updated as soon as the job is completed. Understanding? These numbers are getting updated as soon as the job is completed, but not when the job is running. When the job is in between, these numbers will not be updated. So when the job is starting, what does the +1 version means? It is 6th version. So when you are referring the 0th version inside the same job, it will still be 5th only. Once the job is completed, then only your 6th version will become 0. Until the job is not completed, until the job is running, so till the completion of your job, your 0th version will be 5th only. When your job is completed, then only your 6th version will become 0. Understanding?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
that
sir.
is the reason when you are referring here. So here it will create the 6th version, but when you are referring 0, it will still be 5th version only. Understanding? It will still be 5th version only. But let us say I want to have, so let's say here, let us say I'm having June data here. So now it is going to create the 6th version. But here my intention is I would like to copy this. Okay, here I'm creating the latest June data. Here also I want to take the latest data which is getting created here. I don't want the 0th version, meaning 0 is now, 0 is now, it is pointing to 5th version, right? 0 is now pointing to 5th version. I don't want the 5th version. I want the 6th version data only, which is the latest version only I want. So how can I refer it? How to take the latest version data?
+1.
+1, sir.
It is +1 only, right? So until the completion of the job, you have to refer the 6th version as +1 only. So before completing also, before starting, your 6th version is what? +1.
+1.
So till the job completion, your 6th version will be +1 only. Okay, I'm submitting it. Getting it? I'm submit. Okay, submit, submit. It's now done. Your 6th version is created.
Class on that.
It is having your June data. Now see your backup. This is also having your now properly copied, right? So if you see this, if you see the job, so step 00, it is referring 6th version. Similarly, step 01, it is also referring the 6th version, correct? Okay. So now, for example, now let's do the same thing for 7th version. June means it is going to be July, right? Sorry, not this file. I have to update this file. So let's do the same thing for July now. So now tell me what first step will do. Anyone?
July version will come, sir.
July. Okay. Basically, it is going to create 7th version, and in that 7th version, it will have the July data. And here, which data we will have?
July, sir.
July. So basically, I would like to copy this July data, meaning July data into this file. So here, for some reason, I'm removing this comma. So what happened in my step 2? There is some issue. So there is some failure is there. Let me submit this. You will understand. So it is having JCL error. JCL error is there. Let me go to school. Let me check. So first step ran fine, right? If you see first step ran fine, correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Second step, it got flushed. Flushed means it did not execute. Flushed means it's thrown away. It did not get execute. So first step ran fine. Now, second step basically failed. So what I have to do, I will have to correct this second step. Okay. So okay, now I find, okay, here is the, I have to correct this second step. I have corrected. Now, do I have to run the first step? Because it already ran, right?
Yes, sir.
So to skip the first step, what I have to do?
Restart step 0.
So restart equal to step 01.
01.
And now I'm not running this step. So my July file is already created. Seventh version is already created. I would like to copy the seventh version only. But now what the seventh version became, is it still 01 only? Is seventh version still 01? Because my job is completed. Here you have to understand one thing. Job completed means it is not only successfully, it can be fail or success. Job completion is the important. As soon as your seventh version is created, this seventh version will now become zeroth version. Now, right? Okay. So now we have only first step got executed. First step already created the seventh version. Now when you are restarting this job, what is your seventh version? Is it still +1 or it became 0?
It became 0, sir.
It became 0. So you have to take care when you are restarting. If suppose this step is failed, when you are restarting from here, you are not going to run this step. If you are running this step, then it will be still +1. If these two are running together, then this will be +1. But half job ran, then this step failed. So this already became 0. So when you are running this step alone now, you have to put it 0 and run, right? To have the
Yes, sir.
July data, you should have 0 only. It is not going to be +1. So whatever I have explained now, this is one single interview question they will ask you. And this is a must interview question. The question is, first question here. I have two steps. Okay. In first step, I am creating a new version of GDG. In second step, I am using the same version which got created above as the input. What will be the version numbers for step 1 and 2? So tell me, in first step, I'm creating a new GDG version. What will be the relative version number? You have to understand. The question is the same thing which I have explained is just the 3 points I have written here. In first step, I'm creating the new GDG version. Actually, I'm doing the same thing here. It is not a new thing to you. I'm creating the new GDG version here, right? In second step, I'm using the same version which got created above as the input. Same thing, which got created above as the input, meaning before it was +1. So same version which got created here, I'm using it as input here. Now tell me, for first version, what is the GDG version we have to use for creating a new version? First step,
+1, sir.
it is +1. So for your first step, it is your +1. And second step, what will be the version number?
0, sir.
See, this is the biggest mistake that for this only I have explained till now. What is the latest version we are considering? I am clearly saying the version which got created above as the input. In first step, whatever is the version created, the same version I'm using as the input. Why we have changed it to +1 last time?
To get the latest
Right? You have to remember this point. Until the job completion, version numbers will not be updated. This is the point you have to remember. So when it is +1 in step 1, what will be the version number in step 2? It is still +1, right? What was the job we ran last time? Why we ran with +1 and +1 here? Did you remember this job? We only submitted just now, right? Why we ran with +1 and +1 here?
For latest versions.
For latest version, right? Here, what I'm asking, and in first step, I'm creating the new version. And in the second step, I'm using the same version which got created above. ఈ ఫస్ట్ స్టెప్ లో ఏదైతే క్రియేట్ అవుతుందో అదే ఇక్కడ యూజ్ చేస్తున్నా అని చెప్తున్నా, రైట్?
Yes,
So
sir.
when it is +1 in the first step, how come it will be the 0 in the second step? Okay, let me give it as 0 now. So here, let's say here it is creating your fifth version. Here it will take the fifth version only.
No, sir.
No,
Fourth,
sir.
What it will take?
fourth
Fourth,
one.
sir.
Fourth version. But what is the question here? In the second step, I am using the same version which got created above as the input. Will it be the same version? Fifth and fourth are the same.
No, sir.
Then what you have to give here?
+1, sir.
+1. So now interviewer will ask why you have given 0, why you have not given 0, and why you have given +1. What is the reason of choosing +1? Because latest is 0, right? Why you have chosen it as +1? What you will answer then?
The relative versions will get updated after.
Right. Yes, you have to say the same sentence. The version numbers will be updated only after the job completion. Version numbers will be updated only after the job completion. That's why I have taken it as +1. Understood? After this, he will have the continuation question. Now, did you understand this part?
Yes, sir.
So now he will have the continuation question. So he will say, okay, fine. My first step got executed successfully. Okay. My second step failed. So before restarting, or how you will restart? Simply, he will say how you will restart the job. So what is our answer? So what we have done for restarting?
We write the restart is
Okay, first you will give restart equal to
Step 1.
step 2, meaning consider it is step 2 here. Okay, restart equal to step 2. That's it. If you give restart equal to step 2 and submit, will it run?
No, sir, we have to give 0.
Where we have to properly form the sentences. Okay, we have to change the version number to 0. Okay, so when you're speaking here only, try to form the sentences and speak. So it will be good for you. Even make it a small sentences, but make a sentence, not a single word. Yes, no, 0, +1, -1. Not, these are not the good answers. Try to make a simple sentence and speak. Okay, so restart equal to step 2. Then we have to change the version number to 0. Why we are changing the version number to 0? Why we are changing?
The first program failed. That's why.
job completion.
So yeah, see
Step
what
Because
happened if job is completed. So what job completed? Okay, then
Version numbers will get updated also.
that is the main point, right? Because the job is completed, version numbers are already updated, right? Because the job is completed, version numbers are already updated. For that reason, we have to make it 0. Okay, so I hope you understood this process, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now one more thing I would like to say here. Let's say here I'm having one more step. Let us say step 00, step 0a. So in the same JCL, I would like to, let's say, what is this? What is this we are having? Let's, July is there. Let me give it as August. Okay. So now in the same JCL, so here what will happen? How many versions we have right now? So I'll finish in 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. So 7 are there. So how many, so which version it is going to, sorry, where is this? Where I have repeated in school. Okay, okay, let me repeat it here. Okay, so now tell me, here I'm having up to 7 versions it is created now. So what is my first step going to do? It is going to create an 8th version, right? And it will copy this into this. If suppose in the same job, I want to create one more version also, 9th version also I would like to create. Okay, I would like to create the 9th version also. So I'm giving one more step with +1 and this list. Okay, so that means this August data I am backing up into 8th and 9th versions. Both the versions I am backing up. Okay, this point you have to understand clearly. Okay, then I'm using 0th version too. So this point is right now it is not very important, but let it be here. You understood this step already. But here now focus our main concentration on these two steps. I am taking the backup of same file into two different versions, 8th and 9th, right? You're getting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here also we are creating one version. Here also I'm creating another version. Let's see. So I've given GDG base of +1 and GDG base of +1. Do you think will it work fine or any issues? So let's try. Any before submitting any answers? Okay, restart. I have to remove. Otherwise, it will go from there. Okay. Anything? Okay, let me submit now. Okay, it is having some JCL error. Let's see what is the JCL error. So this is 8th version. This is step 00. Fine. It's a COT2. Now, in step 0 U2, disk field is incompatible with DS name. Step was not executed. Step 0A is not executed. What it is saying? Step 0 is not executed because disposition field is not compatible, incompatible with the DS name. So let's say what it is doing. Let us see. So normally, if you remember in the past, uh, before job, when I want to use the same version here, I have given GDG base of +1 with disp equal to share. Correct? Did you remember that job?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Why we have given disp equal to share? Because this +1 version is already created. So we have used it as disp equal to share. If you see here, not this one, not this one also, maybe somewhere here. Yeah, if you see here, we have created the +1 version and we have used +1 with disp equal to share here because this plus version here, it is non-existing. It is a new file. So you have given new catalog delete. But here it is already existing because it got created here. So it is disp equal to share. So now here, if you see the recent job, I'm giving disp equal GDG base of +1 with new catalog delete here and also new catalog delete here. So that means it is already created. +1 is already created here. So you cannot create the same file here again. So when 8th version is getting created here, if you want to create the 9th version here, what we have to do? Now only 8th version got created. Okay, now let's say you want to create 9th and 10th version in the same job. So what we will have to do, that we will see once. So you might have already had the answer. Did you understand what we are going to give?
We had to give +2 and +3.
Right? No, okay. So now if I have to create the 9th version, what it is now, this +1, correct, but not +2, we will say, not +3, we'll say. Okay, now this version, what it is going to create, if I submit this job from top, from here, if I submit this job, which version it is going to create?
8th,
We have already 8 are available.
9th.
9th version it is going. Here it will again fail because it is 9th version is already created. So for 9th version, it will be your +1. If you're going to create the 10th version in the same job before the job completion, before the job completion, if you're going to create the 10th version, what will be the version number? +2, right? So if you want to create just the same logic, these numbers will not be updated until the job completion. So if you're giving simply +1 +1 +1 for everything, it will not work. If suppose in the same job, if I'm going to create the 11th version, what I have to give here? In the same job, in one run only, if I want to give the 11th version also, 3 versions if I want to create in the same job, here it will be +3, right? You're getting it? Or confusing?
Exactly, yes.
See, just like how the way we have understood 0 will become only after the job completion. Similarly, your +1, you cannot use it 2 times to create the same data set. If you want to create the next one, because +1 is dedicated for 9th version till the completion of that job. If you want to create the 10th version in the same job, it should be +2. And this +2 is dedicated to this 10th version. Similarly, if you want to create the 11th version in the same job, it should be +3. Understanding? Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
So let's make it one more here. So step 0B. So here we have to give +2 and here we have to give +3 now. So if I submit, see here one more thing you have to remember. What is the latest version here?
Sir.
Is it 7? Really?
8, 8.
8, sir.
8 is the latest version, right? 8 is the latest version. Now, please answer this. Which version this one is going to create?
9th, sir.
And this one?
10th.
10th,
Okay. And this one?
11th, sir.
11th,
And this one, which one it is going to refer?
9th one.
So that's the reason I asked you, what is the latest version now?
8.
Which one it is going to, what is the latest version before job completion, before job starting?
8th, sir.
So which one it is going to refer now?
8th one, sir.
8th only, right? So before job completion, whatever is the 0th version, the same only will be 0th version until the job completion. Okay. So now I'm submitting. Maxis is 0. Now let's see how many versions got created. Refresh. See 9, 10, 11, everything is created. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So now what I'll do, first, second. So I don't want to run after this, meaning I just want to run only first 2 steps, 0, 0 and 0A. So if you don't want to run any particular step, and if you want to stop after this, let us say I want to run till here, and from 0B and these 2 steps I don't want to run. So here you're having different ways. One thing, you can completely delete DD, you can delete these steps, right? That is one way. Otherwise, sorry. Okay. So otherwise, you can comment these 2 steps, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right? Otherwise, you have a simple option is you can nullify it. What is the meaning of nullifying? So this one I want to execute, this one I want to execute. After this step, I don't want to execute from here. So what you can do is here you can give // and leave it. So simply if you're not giving anything and just a double slash, this one we call it as null statement. This one we call it as null statement. That means after this // nothing will be executed. Understanding? After this // nothing will be executed. So now only these 2 will be created. Only these 2 will be executed, +1 and +2. So now tell me, what is the latest version we have?
11th, sir.
11th. So which version it is going to create?
12th version.
And this one?
13.
13th, sir.
13th version. So when you are creating 13, what is our limit? What is the limit we have given while creating GDG base?
13.
So limit we have given basically 12, right? Limit is
Yes.
12. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So limit is 12 and we have given no empty option. So when it is creating the 13th version, what should happen?
First version will be deleted.
First version should be deleted, right? So let's see, this is your 12th version, this is your 13th version. Let's see now. So right now you see 1 to 11 we have, right? 1 is also there, correct?
Yes, sir.
So let me submit now. So maxis is 0 and now I am refreshing it. See, 13th version is created, but do we have the first version?
No, sir.
So it is basically maintaining the backup of 12 versions. Understanding? So if suppose I don't want to run it after this, so let me submit. Now which version it is going to create? 14th version, right?
Okay.
So when it is creating the 14th version, which one will be deleted?
Second.
Second one, sir.
Correct? Same thing happened.
Yes, sir.
So that is your no empty means. But if you are having empty, then only this version will be left. All these versions will be deleted automatically. Okay, that's the reason we use no empty option. Okay, so this is about GDGs, full thing about GDGs. So all these points. So here, this is also one interview question. So I am creating new version in first step. Second step, another new version. Third step, another new version. What will be the version numbers? First step, what is the version number?
+1, sir.
Second
+2.
and third +3, right? These are the version numbers. Suppose first step executed fine. Now second and third you want to run. So do you have to modify the version numbers or not?
No, sir.
We don't want to. See, that's the mistake. First step is completed. Now you're not going to run the first step. So when you're starting from your second step, again you have to make this. So because +1 is over, so again this will become +1 and 2. Because you are not running this first step, you are running only these two. So that means this 1 and 2 is your job, your steps. So this one completed. So if you are running in the same flow, then it would be 1, 2, and 3. If there is a break in the chain, first step is completed. Now you're starting from here. First step is completed and second step failed. So you're starting from here now. So when you're starting from here, since you are not running this, so it will again become 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, right?
Yes, sir.
Right? So those points you have to remember. You have to understand it clearly. If you clearly analyze the concept, then you will understand. Simple. For if you are running like this for any number of steps, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If there is a break in the chain, then again, when the new step that you are starting, that will be from again +1 only. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is all about GDGs. So tomorrow we don't have class and on Monday we'll connect. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So any questions? Okay, please watch the videos after our class is completed so that it will be a revision. Otherwise, simply if you're listening, I'll say nothing you will understand. You will understand and tomorrow you will forget. There will be nothing. Now it will be like, okay, you have understood everything. By tomorrow morning, you don't even say what is +1, +2. You will forget that also. Okay, please refer the video. Okay, thank you everyone. We'll connect on Monday.